Pro camera test video. How great was that New York footage? This is a crazy juxtaposition because this is definitely not New York. This is like the opposite of New York, but that initial footage was a little color graded because when it comes to phones, my philosophy is I want the best camera possible because it's the camera that I'm gonna intertwine in between Sony footage and Blackmagic footage and big camera footage. So I want the best image possible and I want it to be gradable, right? Oh, look at this. But the rest of the footage is just gonna come straight from camera because I know you guys get angry at me when I like color grade stuff and I edit my photos with a Visco because you want to see straight out of the camera. So I'll give you that. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to see edits of the new iPhone. Wow, isn't this peaceful and great? So basically, I'm just gonna narrate some of the pictures and videos I've been taking, and long story short, if you just want to exit out of this video right now, is we've arrived. I have absolutely no more complaints about the iPhone. Typically it was like, go. The Note 10 has such a better selfie camera. It has more resolution, it's wider. Now, the iPhone selfie camera I think is better. Wow. On the right, we got the Note 10. On the left, we got the iPhone Pro shooting in 4K, 24 frames per second. Except the Note doesn't shoot in 24 frames per second. It's 30 automatically. Can you believe the Note is supposed to be the professional one? Do a shot here.
But Samsung's so weird, like it'll like blur your screen.
I'll be the one to say it.
Okay. Shooting this backlit shot, look how much better the iPhone selfie camera is.
iPhone.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
What is happening? And I think the iPhone's a little bit wider, which I always went with the Note because it had a wide selfie camera and it had high resolution selfie camera.
I'm about to pre-order that phone right now.
So this is the iPhone footage on the ultra wide, low light.
This
is more wider than this.
And this is pretty low light.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I personally like Samsung, but I'll wait to see this video and see and compare myself.
The Pixel camera, super sharp, great with pictures. I've never considered it a real contender when it comes to video, but now we have the wide selfie pictures on the new iPhone. Let's get into the pictures. This first one is from the ultra wide. When I posted the edit to Twitter, everyone was like, dang, this is a good camera. Where I think things get interesting is this selfie camera. Now these are normal selfies. They're wider than normal, which is great. But look what happens when we go to selfie portrait mode. Very clearly in these selfie portraits, the skin looks smoother, right? The studio light setting in portrait mode definitely takes that to the next stage. Here, to be honest, it's just a little much. But here it looks just right. It's pretty. And finally, one of the settings where it knocks out the background actually looks pretty cool. This high key light mono looks fantastic. Even though the video from the Note 10 failed miserably with backlit video, I will say the 3 camera system truly does shine with slightly low light situations like this, and that oversaturation and sharpening thrives with landscapes. Here's some examples of night mode from the new iPhone 11. There wasn't much light at all, but the key is there's some light somewhere. This last picture, well, I took in complete pitch darkness with a little bit of a fire bouncing off Monica's face, and that's when this goes bad. It's just a smudge fest. It looks bad, so you need a little bit of light. selfie cameras of the 10S Max and the Pro Max, and yeah, it's wider. Oh, this is good. This is a good thing. It's significantly wider. Seems like it's exposing well. The 10S Max maxes out at 1080 30 frames per second, and then the selfie camera is doing 4K. We're doing 4K. It's a beautiful night. Ready? Chasing! It's all my fault. Justine,
This is the best Selfie you've.
can I still be your friend, or are you going to
No, it's my
exile
own
me?
fault. It's my own fault.
The irony of Justine's phone falling while we were trying to do the 120 frames per second Selfie, because slow motion selfie, because you can now do slow-mo at 120 frames per second with your front-facing camera, is right after that I went and played laser tag in the forest, and I dropped the beautiful deep green colored iPhone in the forest, and I had to find my iPhone to emit a sound for me to find it. So that was very scary.
Miracle of miracles.
Okay, so let's talk through the actual Photos app because there's some great updates. I'm going to pick a video. Okay, here we go. When you click on a video, iPhone does the thing that I hate with Samsung, and that they autoplay the video. That's not my favorite. You can go into settings and actually turn that off, which is great. However, the controls to play and pause are right here. You don't have to go into another setting like on the Note where you press play video and then you get controls. So I guess if you're gonna do the autoplay thing, do it like iPhone does it. But if we hit edit, we now have a lot of great controls that only apply to photos. So we can go in and click the adjustments. You can click the auto situation, and that's just gonna like change the exposure, change the contrast automatically. But I think where we get cooking is you can change the individual things, exposure. So I think this was properly exposed, but let's just change a few things. Highlights, I think the highlights are fine. Shadows, bring up the shadows a little bit. Having this in video controls is amazing, adding some contrast back into it. And the fact that we start at a flat image with the iPhone, it's not super saturated and contrasty like Samsung. This is great because we actually have control over the image and we can actually change it the way we like it. Brightness, they got the black points, you can crush the blacks or not. I mean, that's okay. Saturation, let's just like put saturation all the way at the end, vibrance all the way at the end, just so we can see how it does with these changes. You don't want to put saturation at 100% at all times, but we have warmth, tint, sharpness. The fact that there's sharpness in here is amazing. A lot of video editors don't even have sharpness built in. You have to like get it as a plugin for a lot of stuff. Noise reduction, definition, vignette, amazing. So let's press done. This is a 18-second clip, so it's going to take a minute to save the video like expected. So if you're basically doing this for a 5-minute video, expect you to sit there and wait for a hot minute while it finishes, because it's definitely taking a hot minute to do only a 17-second clip. 17, why am I talking all weird? All right, and here we go. Wow. I mean, those rocks look crazy now. Very saturated, I would say. Even though I turned saturation and vibrance up, it didn't completely destroy the image, which is great. We love to see it. You can also crop a video, which is fantastic. I mean, we've been waiting for it, guys. Let's crop it into a square. Let's crop it into, can we do 9:16? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Again, this is stuff that we would do with third-party apps, and now we can do it right into the phone. I love it. Oh my gosh, we can flip it and we can rotate it. Thank goodness for the rotating when you shoot that horizontal video, but it actually makes it vertical. Yes, this is the future that I want to live in. And then final, we can add filters. I mean, these filters actually look pretty good. They could look worse. All right, what I think is really smart is night mode basically just automatically starts. You'll see the 1 second, 3 second exposure up at the left-hand side, and that's how long it's gonna have to expose to get your beautiful night mode picture. In other phones, night mode is basically just another setting to scroll through, but when you have literally 20 different settings, that gets to be a lot. If it's nighttime and you don't wanna shoot night mode, you can always just press the second thing, and then you can scroll through at the bottom how long you want it to be exposed. Listen, the most annoying part is the camera settings are still buried in these settings. If you want to change it to 4K 24, you're gonna have to change that in the camera settings. It's not like right there, like on the Note 10 where you just press the little gear icon. I wish. But if you want to record, say 4K 24 frames per second, it's gonna be at the top. And then whatever your camera is set to on the back side, that's gonna reflect when you turn to selfie mode. So selfie mode, you want to shoot at 4K 24 frames per second. It's gonna reflect what you have for the settings on the back. And hey, now we're shooting at 4K 24 frames per second, and it shows in the top right-hand corner. You have a lot of flexibility with these new lenses. You can actually shoot panoramic with every single one of the lenses. So 2x panoramic, a wide panoramic, or an ultra wide panoramic. So that's gonna be good for small spaces, especially if you take pictures for real estate. Forget fancy cameras. You can just shoot everything with your phone, edit everything within the Photos app if you want. If you want to go beyond JPEG and shoot RAW, which means use all of the sensor goodness and put it in a file format that's gonna be a lot of megabytes. You can download an app called Halid, something like that. And it's a really great camera app, but if you swipe up here, you can see you can toggle in between RAW and not RAW. And RAW is just gonna give you a lot more information to edit with. And then if you open it in a photo editor app like VSCO is my favorite place to edit my pictures for Instagram, it'll actually have a little R symbol and you can edit raw images in VSCO. You have a lot of flexibility with the edit, and then you can export it and you'll just have a beautiful picture. There's a lot of cool controls where you can manually adjust the focus in this app, which is really, really neat. So, I mean, guys, again, I mean, all you need is a decent phone to capture good pictures and good video, and hopefully this video proves that. Now that the lower tier iPhone, the normal iPhone 11 at the price of $699, has these two great lenses, the ultra wide and the wide, and the same selfie camera as the Pro phone, guys, I would just say get the iPhone 11, bump up the storage a little bit. You're still gonna be under $1,000, and you're gonna have the biggest asset that these new phones are showing off, which is the ultra wide camera and the new selfie camera. But of course, if you have to have that OLED display, if you like the sizes of the Pro versions, and you must have that telephoto camera, and remind you, because the iPhone 11 has the wide and the ultra wide, it can do the portrait mode optically. So all it needs is two cameras to calculate that depth, and it's no longer just relying on 100% computational photography. So even your portrait mode pictures on the normal iPhone 11 are gonna be as gorgeous and beautiful as on the iPhone Pro. But if you need that 2x portrait mode, I understand. Go for it, guys. Well, let me know what you thought of this video. I know it took me a minute to get it out, but I was actually trying to take a break this past weekend. What? YouTubers don't deserve break. Well, I took a break, and yeah, I just took a while to edit this video. So let me know if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button for new videos every single week. I have another video, I think, coming out tomorrow maybe, or the next day, about building the ultimate cinema setup for cheap. So hang around, make sure you subscribe. And I guess all that's left to say is stay peachy. Okay, bye.